Hi, friends. I just took a bath and it came to me to talk about desire. Desire is such a fascinating topic that has been explored in so many ways, and it almost feels like it's at the core of everything. So I can share my experience with it because that's all I can share always anyway. And I'll be curious to know your thoughts on the topic. Desire. Uh, let's start with the Buddhists and how the monks deny desire, and it's considered something that should be suppressed and given up and let go of. And then when we go through Christianity, the whole foundational myth of Adam and Eve is based on desire and how desire is bad. Eve desiring the forbidden fruit, the only thing they could not have, and that leading to them being banished from the Garden of Eden and entering the world of duality, good and bad. And how we all go desiring things, and that is the driving and motivational force of humanity, from desiring material things to health to happiness, desiring spiritual advancement and growth. Desire can be applied in so many areas. And then the perspective that I seem to resonate the most with maybe is Neville Goddard, who says that whole life is appeasement of desire. And instead of suppressing or repressing it, we need to accept it. And he says the whole meaning of sin is that not original sin, but missing the mark. In his words, missing the mark would be instead of accepting your desires, it comes to you, and believing before you see it that it's already true. You don't believe that this is possible for you and try to downplay it, like the grapes are sour from the famous fable, and the fox that wanted the grapes but could not reach them, so finally concluded, oh, I don't need those grapes anyway, they're probably sour. So we deny and downplay our desire, make it like something that's not good or not that good. Or we try to devise consciously the means of getting it and manipulate the situation in such a way as to get it, which causes trouble and unnecessary hardship. So according to Neville, this is what it means to sin or to miss the mark. And the right way to approach desire would be to simply surrender to it, meaning accept your desire as if it's true now, and knowing that if you have it, it means that it's for you. Like what Rumi says, what you seek is seeking you. And it will come to you. Your intuition will guide you if you simply accept it and live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And to me, it's interesting how all of these things could be correlated to the most natural thing, feeling sexual desire. And how it seems to be, I want to say, a stronger feeling for men, which would make sense because it is the masculine within us all that makes us desire things. And through the appeasement of these things, one after the next, it leads us to higher and higher levels of desiring. So first we go through the material. We want to amass material riches. and then emotional, mental, emotional, and finally spiritual, where we desire to know our true nature and be one with all there is. So if we follow the natural way of desires, depending on what level in our evolution we are in this current incarnation, we can simply go from one to the next, to the next, to the next, through accepting them, appeasing them, and be in this constant flow of unfoldment and expansion, moving from more material and physical desires through the mental, emotional, and spiritual. Because ultimately, at one point we realize, wait a minute, I'm craving this thing because it's going to give me that feeling. And we start to make those connections that it's the feeling that we want and not the thing. And the ultimate feeling is the feeling of oneness and pure harmony, peace, joy, and this feeling that can't even be described, of samadhi, basically. So let's go back to sexual desire and how it seems to be stronger for men. It does not mean that women don't feel sexual desire. They do. I think it's more in response, which would make sense because, again, if we go to pure energetics, when the masculine chooses and picks a desire, then it's the job of the feminine to grow it. So in the same way, we have the sperm, it reaches the egg, and then the female body takes care of the making of the baby. So it's the same with desire. If we go about appeasing it the natural way, when we have a desire that is true, like our own desire, not what we're being. Let me pick a graceful word. Gently coerced or told that we need to be desiring. And I'm not saying that this is in a malicious or manipulative way, but we all have different desires. So if our desire doesn't match the desire of our parents, for example, they could think that, I desire the best for you, so I want you to get a good job, and I want you to graduate college and, get a home and whatever. And they think this is going to be good for you, right? They want to see you stable and happy and secure. But if your true heart's desire is to travel the world, or be a musician, or be an actor, or it could be anything, grow a garden, then if you follow your parents' desire, you're going to go against your inner being, which is in a different state of evolution than your parents. So that's why it's very important for the desire that I'm talking about here is to be your true heart's desire. And that's when things are going to work easy. And you just know it because that desire will not leave you. It just stays there. And a lot of times that desire is contrarily, completely opposite or contrary to what everybody else wants for you, what society wants from you, what you think you should want for yourself. It's something that it's like, what, this? But that's how you know, because it's unique and it's for you. And if you follow it, when you think about it, you feel this excitement and fear mixed in. And if you decide, you know what, I'm going to do it, then there's this enthusiasm that comes, and really, like Thoreau says, like the whole universe conspires to help you. And I think Paulo Coelho says that in The Alchemist, and Thoreau has a beautiful quote about it: if one advances confidently in the direction of their dreams, you can Google it. But yes, the universal forces conspire to help you. because it is a true heart's desire. Um, and this is how we create new things. Um, so it's not much different than creating a baby. And the true desire, when we have that energy, when we don't suppress it, it has so much power and potential. And this is how we enrich the world. And the true desire could be for creating a certain piece of art, or for establishing a sanctuary for animals, or creating some kind of business that will benefit a lot of people, or planting a forest, whatever. It's always something that not only benefits the person who desires it, but also everybody else around. And in its fulfillment, there's a lot of mutual give and take, and one helps others with their true desires as well. And back to sexual desire, I think desire in a lot of cases is not seen as so positive, because it can also wreak a lot of havoc if not used the right way. And if we don't regard spiritual laws, if we don't regard other beings' personal will, and if we try to make our desire happen through manipulation. And that's when we get in trouble. So that's why it's important to learn how to use that energy of desire in the correct way and channel it properly. Because if we don't, that's when it causes issues. And I feel that's why for for Buddhism and Christianity, it's been easier to go with the let's try to suppress desire and shame it and guilt it. But I think that actually creates an opposite effect, because then we shame ourselves for something that is very natural to us. And yes, it is harder to work with your faculties and develop them and learn to use them correctly, because that is a very immense, strong power. And as you're learning to use it correctly, you can harm yourself and others. But at the same time, I think we're at a stage in our evolution where it is necessary for more people to learn how to use the energy of desire to bring more goodness into the world and channel it properly in healthy ways before we self-destruct. So these are my thoughts on it, and I feel we should not shame ourselves for desiring things, and using that energy properly, and we should not shame ourselves for sexual desire, yet also directing it and channeling it properly and respectfully, and in the right way, the right situation with the right person, or channeling it for creative purposes and all of this. So maybe just more awareness is needed for all of these intricate subjects, and learning about the energetics of the masculine and feminine within ourselves, and how we could use that energy of desire, or we can call it sexual transmutation, to fuel our dreams and not our fears, and how it is not a bad thing. Just like anything, a knife could do lots of wonderful things for us, and at the same time we could murder a person with it. We could cut our finger and other things with it. So if we have learned to use certain tools that can potentially be harmful, or foods that in certain doses can be harmful, but in other uh, ways we could use them for healing, I feel we could do the same with our own energetics and our own inner power, namely use desire and imagination correctly and creatively for constructive versus destructive purposes. And a sweet movie on desire is 3,000 Years of Longing. So yes, you have your own genie on the inside, and if you decide to let it out, be conscious with it, and better, because otherwise it's running you unconsciously. So might as well learn a little bit more about it and start to use it consciously. What are your thoughts on desire? I'd be happy to hear in the comments.